welcome back to Football Picks here on TalkingSports.tv. I'm Marty York, and along with me, of course, is the guru himself, Uncle Ben of UncleBen'sFootball.com. You see Uncle Ben sitting at his home office in San Diego. This is where all the picks are being made and all the figuring and reckoning and this is where you do all your heavy thinking, right, Uncle Ben?
Absolutely. This is where it all happens, Marty.
Uncle Ben, of course, has been red hot all season on his NCAA football picks, and hopefully he won't be anything but continuing that trend this weekend. There are some overs he likes, overs in the totals that he really, really likes, and he'll share those with you momentarily. But there are a couple of sides that has Uncle Ben pretty excited as well. One of the games involves Ohio State, who are either number 1 or number 2 in the rankings. Which one are they, 1 or 2? Or does it depend?
Well, Ohio State's number 2 right now.
Okay. So Florida State's 1, Ohio State's 2.
Correct.
Okay. And Ohio State plays Michigan State. This game is on neutral ground, and Ohio State is favored by 6 points. Who do you like?
Well, like you said, Marty, it's the Big Ten championship game, and Michigan State brings the nation's number 1 defense into this game, Marty. And Ohio State head coach Urban Meyer has yet to lose a game coaching the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, the Ohio State Buckeyes haven't lost a game since 2011. It's unbelievable.
Crazy.
But it's the case. And the Buckeyes can score this year because, Ohio State defense has been a little suspect, since they lost their safety and leader Christian Bryant like midseason. They've just been outscoring teams, and they're going to score. I think even against the Michigan State defense. What I do like about Michigan State here is their head coach Mike D'Antonio. He's 10-4 against the spread versus undefeated opponents in his career. So he gets up for these games and he knows how to coach it up pretty well. And he's 15-3 against the spread in away or neutral site games versus a conference opponent off a win. So obviously Ohio State's off a win. They won all their games. So that fits quite well. And also note that Michigan State sent 7-1 straight up and against the spread of late when playing with Big Ten revenge. And they lost their last time out against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Like I said, Ohio State's going to score some points here, but the Spartans are going to win this game, I think, because they've got the better defense. And I always say, Marty, take the better defense when you're getting points. And this is the case here. I like the Michigan State Spartans to win this game and turn the BCS picks into topsy-turvy because, once Ohio State loses to Michigan State, it's going to be a wide-open race for whoever's going to play Florida State in the BCS championship game. So I like the Michigan State Spartans to upset the Ohio State Buckeyes, and I also like the over in this game, Marty, of 51 points because I know that Ohio State's going to score some, and Michigan State is going to score against that weak Ohio State defense. I like the Michigan State Spartans +6 and over 51 points in this game, Marty.
Wow. So when Michigan State wins this game, you're going to have to squeeze them in the top 3 somewhere, I would think. And isn't it interesting how the whole picture is shaping up just as we wind down the regular season and get into the bowl games?
Well, I think that the Missouri Tigers and the Auburn Tigers might have something to say about that, but I'm actually not selecting that game, Marty, on my servers, the SEC championship game. I just think it's too close to call that one.
Right. All right, but you are selecting Michigan State +6 against Ohio State, and also the over. The over. You like quite a few overs this weekend, and we'll get into that in one more second.
Yes.
But first, the game between Utah State and Fresno State has you intrigued. Who are you picking here?
Well, here's it's the Mountain West Championship game. Fresno State was 10-0 going into last week. They actually lost to San Jose State. And I just see here that the favorite here, I think they're 4-point favorites, the Fresno State Bulldogs. You got a favorite here with a defense that ranks 101st in the nation, the Bulldogs defense does, Marty, playing in a championship game with an unbalanced offense against a good defense, and that all just seems kind of shaky. I happen to like Utah State. The Aggies have cashed 6 straight tickets, allowing seven or less points, and they're very impressive 14-2 against the spread on the road against winning opposition. So this team travels well. You cannot run against the Utah State Aggies. It's impossible. Keep in mind that Fresno State is poisonous in this role. They're 1-15 against the spread when playing off a straight-up favorite loss. Last week they were favored Last week they lost, including 0-10 at home. This game is played in Fresno State. I'd just say enough said. The Aggies are going to win this game outright, plus 4 points this week, Marty. Take the Utah State Aggies to get it done and win the first Mountain West Championship game.
All right, there you go, folks. Michigan State plus the 6 points and Utah State plus the 4 points. Also over in the Michigan State. And as I said, over is a bit of a theme for you this week. There's a game between Texas and Baylor this weekend, and you're looking at lots of points here, aren't you?
Well, points is the theme this week in Uncle Ben's football, Marty. I've got 4 more picks coming up that are all on the totals of the games, and they're all going over. Yes, the Baylor Bears, they're still leading the nation in total offense. They're still leading the nation in total scoring and in passing efficiency. They're 10-1 straight up, and they're 8-3 against the spread this year. It's nothing to sneeze at. This is a very good football team, but they've showed us some kinks in the armor the last couple of weeks, Marty. And we've been against Baylor the last couple of weeks. They gave up 49 points to Oklahoma State 2 weeks ago. They gave up 38 points to TCU last week. TCU almost won that game. We thought they were going to win outright, but they did cover the spread easily last week. So their defense is giving up a little film. Some of these coaches to look at the last couple of weeks, giving up close to 90 points. And last year's game, Marty, was 56-50 for Texas. So Baylor's looking for a little revenge. I think that both teams are going to be rolling up points in this game. The total is at 71.5. As a matter of fact, this is a double play on my servers this week, Marty. I say take the over, 71.5. Baylor's going to score 55, 60 points, and Texas is going to hang 30 on Baylor for sure. This game's going into the 90s, I think. Take the over in this game, Texas and Baylor.
That's a double play, folks, on UncleBen'sFootball.com. That means a lot. So over 71.5. Go for it. Duke is playing Florida State. Similar situation, Ben?
Well, yeah, I know it's getting silly, Marty, but yeah, I like points in this game as well. I mean, I just see that the Florida State Seminoles have scored between 51 and 80 points in 7 games this year thus far, and last week they were held to their low of 37 against the Florida Gators, who were probably the best defense they faced all year. Florida Gators had a horrendous season. Their offense couldn't do anything, but their defense is still, pretty capable considering the amount of time they spent on the field this year, because their offense was on the sideline most of the time. But so I'm looking for the Florida State Seminoles to roll it up against a Duke team that you got to give credits to Dave Cutcliffe. He's going to win Coach of the Year, by the way, in the NCAA, taking the Duke Blue Devils to 10-2. I don't see who's going to beat him out in that. But they're going to have their hands full this week with the Florida State Seminoles, who are going to score, like I said, 50 points plus. And Duke can score some too, and they will score, Duke. Probably maybe in the 20s, I'd say, against the Florida State team. So I say this is also my second double play this week. There's 2 of them, Marty. Over 62.5, Florida State Duke. I just think that this game, again, going to be in the 80-point range. Take the over 62.5, Duke, Florida State.
There you go, folks. 2 double plays for you, both over 71.5 with Texas Baylor, over 62.5 Duke and Florida State. You want more? Go to UncleBen'sFootball.com and find out what else Uncle Ben likes for this weekend, and it'll help you along, believe me. Folks, that about does it for this show. I want to say thank you to our producers, David Grossman and Richard Watson, doing an outstanding job with All Talk TV, producing football picks. And also, of course, would like to tip the cap, partly, to our good friend Uncle Ben in San Diego. Uncle Ben, thanks very much for doing this. Have a great week. Enjoy the weekend, and we will be looking forward to getting back together here next week on Football.com. For Uncle Ben, I'm Marty York, and I'm saying so long.